What's up, Raider Nation? Spicy Raider Girl here with Nation's Most Headed and Protect the Shield. We are going to be discussing the crazy saga that is the Raiders quarterback situation. All right, all right. And before we get into it, remember, light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member, share this video. Also, subscribe to these guys' channels, Instagram as well. Thank you for joining us. If you are drinking tonight, the drinking game alert is quarterback. Every time you say it, we say it. You know what to do. Either drink, toke, or twerk. Well, welcome, guys. Thank you for being here with me tonight. We are going to talk about this ongoing quarterback saga. And as you mentioned, Chris, right before we went on air here, whew, the nation is bugging out.
Losing it. Absolutely losing it. It's like you said, it's funny though, but it's like, come on, guys. We'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. How you guys feel?
I think we'll be okay. I honestly, and let us know what you think here in the chat as well. What do we think Jimmy G is going to start the season? I do. I think Jimmy G will be fine. I think he's going to start the season. I mean, the Raiders knew about his foot situation when they signed him, and we'll go a little bit into the contract. I think it was Addendum G, as they called it, about his situation on that end. So, yeah, I do think he'll start. What I'm not confident in, though, is how many games he'll actually play. It's now a 17-game season, as we all know, and I think he's had one season that he's completed. I mean, he's a proven winner. So when he plays, he wins, but how long will he actually be on the season? I think that's the question. So what do you guys think? Will he start the season and will be the starting quarterback for the season, and how long will he go?
You got Johnny.
All right. Okay, so first off, this whole news about the contract thing, this happened in March. It came out now. People are losing it. So it's been business as usual since. It's way too early for that to think all this crazy stuff, but it is entertainment. I mean, come on now. Now you're thinking of all these crazy possibilities, and he probably will be ready to go, like they said. But if anything crazy happens, I think there's somebody waiting to take over this team as a quarterback, and it's going to be just something that we can't control. It's going to be a lot of things happening, and they're going to make that guy the quarterback. But then there's a lot of other different ways to go about it. If Aiden O'Connell becomes our quarterback the same way Derek Carr just ended up being our quarterback, then it's like a Carr part two. But I definitely don't want Hoyer, that's for sure. But I think everything is fine. Like it's way too early to be panicking.
Yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, you know, Jimmy is betting on himself. For him to even sign that contract, to sign that amendment in his contract speaks volumes, you know, because he literally is betting on himself, because if anything goes wrong, you know, he's not getting paid it, you know, at all, you know, pretty much. So and plus, like you said, you know, this happened back in March, you know, and it's not like it's a real you know, a real detailed surgery. I mean, they're really just kind of getting rid of, you know, cleaning it up, getting rid of scar tissue. You know, I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be quite honest. And I think that's why it's important to sign Josh Jacobs, though. If I'm Josh Jacobs, I'm using this as leverage. Like, you guys need me, because you don't want this fragile quarterback dropping back, you know, 30, 40 times a game. So we're going to have to be a balanced team, give Josh the ball a lot, but I feel good. I'm okay. I'm not panicking yet.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting note. Not panicking yet, he said. There's a caveat to when the panic will come. What's up, Fishing Game, Mr. Matter of Fact, and Digital Press? Thanks for joining us. But yeah, people are going crazy, and you know, like I said, I just find it so humorous, and there's just so many like wild rumors, I guess you can say that we're hearing.
Yeah.
We're hearing Trey Lance. We're hearing Cam Newton. We're hearing I can't even remember. I think I've seen so many Carson Wentz. I think. I mean, I've seen so many
Andy
like
Dalton.
yeah,
Like,
it just like goes on and
Bridgewater,
on.
yeah. If we
Andrew
get Andy
Luck.
Dalton, if we get Andrew Dalton, I'm hibernating for the season. I'm calling it now. I can't deal with Andy.
Well, we'll talk about the elephant in the room a little bit, right? I think when we bring up these discussions of the quarterback, we have to talk about Derek Carr. It's just part of it. It's literally just part of it, and that's part of why people are bugging out, right?
Yeah.
That's probably has a lot to do with it. You've got certain
The
people
trigger
saying,
effect.
calm down, everything's gonna be fine, and you've got people like I'm almost getting the sense that we're getting these Carr fans. I'm not even sure if they're really Raiders fans. These
Yeah.
Carr fans that are almost wanting these quarterbacks to fail
Oh my
so
God.
that they can be right on some level. All I know is I want the Raiders to win, and I think as a Raiders fan, that's all we can hope for. And if you're wishing for anything other than that, then I would question their fandism for sure.
No, I agree. I think yeah, those Carr fans they're getting out of line, man. I mean, they should be happy. Gruden's over there helping, Carr in his offense in New Orleans. They should just be happy. Focus on that. Be like Wi-Fi Willie and just focus on
Yeah.
that. No shade to Willie, but just saying.
No, that's very interesting, right? And I don't know. I saw a snippet somewhere, and Derek Carr was saying that he wishes the Raiders well, and he hopes the Raiders fans wish him well. He kind of said like he has no ill will. He has a lot of friends on the team, and he wants to see the Raiders succeed. I mean, I don't necessarily want to see Derek Carr fail.
Yeah,
However,
I
I'm also not going to talk crazy talk like some fans I'm seeing saying I want him to win a Super Bowl or many of them, because if the Saints are winning the Super Bowl, the Raiders. So to me, that's the craziest talk of all.
I agree. Honestly, I feel I know I've talked about it on here before. I really like Darren Waller. So I kind of understand how they feel when it's like your team gets rid of someone that you like. But at the end of the day, I want Waller to do fine, but not against us.
Right.
I mean, it's easy as that. That's what a real fan is. Like,
Right.
these guys, man, they're unique.
And quite honestly, I don't even care if he does fine. I'm not going to root against him.
Right.
But if he does fine or not doesn't affect me
Either
or,
way.
or the way I'm going to want the Raiders to win
Either way.
whatsoever. Again, I'm not rooting for these guys to fail, but I'm not rooting for them at all. They're not really even a thought process.
They're not a Raiders.
All I know
Who cares?
Exactly. All I know is when the Raiders face them, I want them to be destroyed. So, if it's like, with us, you against us type of thing, right?
Mhm.
What's up, Pirates? Den, Alex, Omar. Let's get into some of these comments here because I like to see how some of you out there in Raider Nation are feeling. This injury insurance clause Zig put on Jimmy G is the genius move. My only concern heading into 2023 was his availability, and now we have an out. Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, the speculation was all along. How long will Jimmy G last? Will he start? All of those types of things. So to me, to your point, Omar, for Ziegler to put an insurance policy on it, it's like you almost have nothing to lose.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I guess except for the vacant quarterback position. But I mean, real talk here, no disrespect, and I know I'm going to probably get hate for this, but I mean, Derek Carr just wasn't doing the job. He just wasn't. And so if we do have a vacant quarterback spot, in my opinion, third place is not okay. It's never going to be okay. And you can't continue moving on being in third place. So what's going to happen could potentially happen this year. They finish in fourth place. So what? There's no difference to me. If
Right.
it's not first, you're last. Like,
No, I agree.
let's read some more comments here.
Yeah.
Pirates Den with Brave Raider. Raiders fans who went to the Saints with Carr, but most of the Raider Nation wants us to lose on purpose. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. And actually, I haven't seen a lot of that. The real fans want to win, and we used to be the most feared fan base, not anymore. That's true, and I think that's part of the Vegas culture. I don't think the Vegas culture once they moved, want the Raiders to be the most feared fan base.
Right.
However, I am getting a little bit mixed signals with Mark Davis because that comment he said about the 3 Chargers fans was kind of
Loved it.
next level. I
Loved
loved it.
Loved it.
But then he was also complaining about just last season how opposing teams' fans were taking over the stadium.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys make of that?
Yeah, me personally, I think I love the clapback by Mark personally. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, Vegas is always going to be a destination where people are going to always have that circled and want to go. Especially while we're not playing so well. I mean, we got to have something to ignite the fan base, at the end of the day. But and plus, some of those ticket prices probably hurt a lot of the original fans.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so it's like it's tough.
I think the cheapest seat for the home opener right now in the uppers is right around $400, and that's before fees. And
Right.
the Ticketmaster fees are outrageous. So you're going to get. I actually looked at it earlier. I think it was like over $900 for 2 seats after fees in the uppers for the home opener. So if anybody wants to pay me that, like I'll sell you my tickets. I'm just But Rick says possible Williams next year if 2023 is down a year and we're in the top 3 draft. I mean, I would kind of love that, to be honest. I am here for that. But I mean, that's a lot of speculation. That's way far in advance, and I'm certainly not down for purposely losing games to potentially have that option.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I love Caleb. He can play. He can ball. But anything involving us losing, I can't support it. I'm just not. And I don't know. Maybe that's just a competitive nature in me. Like I even if we're like already losing, like I don't care. I just hate losing. So
yeah,
I wish Caleb well, but if we get him, I'd rather trade down to get him. I don't want to be his number 1 pick to get him. That's just me.
Right. So here's a little bit more. We'll talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if your Super Bowl's at home, you better win. You better get there. If your quarterback doesn't break, and if he does, I think Tom Brady somehow. I just think somehow, man. That's all I'm saying. Like something crazy is gonna happen here. But I think you could go far with Jimmy G. You play the game right, run the system right, get some competence on defense. Finally, you got some weapons.
Yeah.
I think,
and Mother Moon says here we should all hate losing. I don't know if this is a dig at Carr, but I'm going to take it as one because that's kind of how I felt. He kind of felt he didn't like to lose, right? He wanted to win, but I think he was okay with losing.
Yeah.
I think it was just okay. I'll move on now. Like I always quote my girl Serena Williams. She hated losing more than she likes winning, and that's the kind of mentality we need for our quarterback to have.
Especially for someone who claims that he has the Mamba mentality.
Oh, that part.
I hate when he says that. Like, dude, there's nothing Mamba about you, dude.
Nothing. That's like they could disrespect
right.
Kobe.
Like, calm down. Calm down.
I agree with you. Pirates Den. Spicy, you going to the preseason games? I am going to the first preseason game. Maybe I can meet you then. Yeah, I'd love to meet you. I will probably be out in Vegas. I will probably not go into the game. That's the one against the 49ers on August 13th. I actually think that's the only one, right? That's the only home game for preseason.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll likely be out there. So, would love to meet you as well. So, let's talk about some of these other options here, right? Because the Raiders do have other options that are potentially on or that are already on the team that could potentially start. Not counting Tom Brady. I think we'll get to that. He's not technically on the team, but he's part of the team. So what do you think? So let's just say Jimmy G doesn't pass his physical. As a GM, and you've got the backups you have now, where do you go? What do you do with that?
Go ahead, Johnny.
You just gotta let O'Connell start and see what happens. They picked him. They like him. He's the type of quarterback they want in their system. He's smart because he makes quick decisions, perfect fit for their system, basically. That's why they got him. And as far as Jimmy G, the front office knew what they were doing. They own it. If anything happens, they own it. I read something like that. They're on board with it. They know what they're up against. But yeah, just let the O'Connell kid play. Let him develop. If you don't have anybody better to bring in, like a Hall of Fame owner guy, you know.
No, I agree. I think, but right now, I think Brian Hoyer needs to be giving O'Connell a crash course. Because at the end of the day, that's what Hoyer was brought here for, just to be a glorified tutor. So like I
Yeah.
expect them to just be attached at the hip and I mean crash course, just in case something happens to Jimmy G. And honestly, I would make sure O'Connell gets all the reps like in practice and in OTAs and I don't think there's much value having Hoyer get those reps. So honestly, let the young kid play and as Johnny said, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's kind of the position they're in. It is what it is. You've got to kind of play the card you're dealt, if you will, and that's what their hand is. I saw this funny meme. I would pull it up, but I mean, y'all know what Aiden O'Connell looks like. So it said he looks like Derek Carr playing the actor in a biopic about Devontae Adams. Now I can't unsee that.
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
I know, it's so funny. Remember, light that torch, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Of course, it's free to subscribe. You can become a member as well if you want to support. Share this video, and of course, comment in the chats. We'll have a good conversation here with everybody watching live. And remember to subscribe to Protect the Shield podcast as well, and Nation's Most Hated over on Instagram. So let's get in some more of these comments here. Rick says, thinking McDaniels has had that plan. Should it go sideways for a top QB on a 24 draft? Don't give up to the future of moving in the draft. Rather get something than giving up the future. What do you guys think of that?
So I think
If you find a good deal to move up, go ahead.
yeah, I think moving up, it's going to cost a lot, but that's why I thought this draft was so key, man. Like you had to knock it out the park with surrounding pieces where if next year we have to, spend some draft capital to move up and get a premier quarterback similar to what the Panthers did, we could do that. So I'm not sure if we're in that place. It really depends on the development of our year 2 guys and year 3 guys. We might be in better shape than what we think. New England has always been good at developing, some of those, draft picks, some lower round draft picks. So if we can get some of that same value and some of that same development, we might have a shot to be better than what many think.
By the way, speaking of the Patriots, who would have ever imagined as a Raiders fan that the Raiders would have 3 former quarterbacks, not only on their team, but a part of the organization at the same time? That's wild. I mean, you've got Brady, Garoppolo, and Hoyer,
Yeah.
all part of the Raiders organization now. All former Raiders that's not what I meant. They're blending so much now. I can't even tell the difference. All former Patriots. Like I would have never in my wildest dreams thought that would actually be a thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But at the end of the day, all 3 of them have seen a lot of victories. They know what it takes to win. They know what it looks like. And people really, get upset about all these Patriots. But at the end of the day, when it's tough, you need some people in the room that know what it takes to win. If you need to do another extra rep in that weight room, if you need to do some more sprints at the end of practice, if you need to make sure your diet's right, like those guys know what it takes to get over the edge. And I'm not mad.
No, I'm not mad. That's a great point. I actually listen. If Brady can be there to guide Aiden or even Jimmy, still,
right,
I'm all for it.
Right.
So I don't think nobody should be upset about learning from greatness. I mean, whatever our opinions are about him, you can't deny what he's accomplished in his career. And if he can spread that knowledge, spread that wisdom, you know, hey, put some more W's on the board. We need them. Right here, shout out to you, Chris. Protect the Shield. Great interview with Coach Hugh Jackson. If you missed that one, check out his YouTube channel and listen to our former coach there. A Terry says, "Hey, hope the lovely spicy as well." Well, thank you. I am. My week off and thought I'd say hi. Thank you for saying hi. 3 a.m. over here in England.
Ooh,
Wow.
it's
You made this comment
dedication.
10 minutes ago. I just hope you're still with us. But thank you for
Dedication.
your support. I appreciate you very much. We love all of our fans. Thank you all for supporting. Joey says, if Aiden O'Connell isn't the answer, then draft a QB in the first round next year.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of Aiden O'Connell, what do you think the GM's thought process or the Raiders? What was their thought process when they drafted him? I don't really think they were thinking this is going to be a first year starter.
No, I don't think so at
There's an
all. I
article.
think, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's an article on that talking so much about it. Just, I think he's a good quarterback to have late as a backup, and if you had to use him, at least he'll know the system. Sitting in the wings, learning it, while Jimmy G is healthy. Hopefully, if worst case scenario they could throw him in there, maybe he will become that guy with the system learned. But besides that, it's not like he has crazy talent or anything. But I think he's a guy that they know worst case scenario he'll fit the system.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think that he's not physically gifted, but I think he has some of those intangibles that they look for in that system. Somebody that has a quick release, that processes the plays fast, that can read coverages fast. 'Cause at the end of the day, you don't have to have a cannon of an arm. I mean, look at what Stidham did.
Right.
Stidham wasn't superly gifted, but he made the decisions and he had command of the huddle. He didn't mind taking a hit, to get the ball downfield, and I think they just see that in him. So I'm not mad at it. I mean, the
Can you
last
imagine
quarterback
if
they drafted was Mac Jones, and he did well in their system. So
Stidham gets released and somehow ends up back with the Raiders?
man, that would be.
That'd
There's
be
no way
good.
Denver would allow that to happen though, because they just know we would jump all over that.
Yeah. It would be interesting though. Hey, it's already kind of like an interesting off season anyway. So who knows? So yeah, let's talk about a little bit more. Garoppolo's adjusted contract now requires that he pass a physical before week 1. I think today is exactly 100 days away from the season opener. So he's got 94 days, I guess, to heal, and he's already been healing since March. So I actually see that that's a very good possibility. So he has to do that to secure his 33.75 million guaranteed. In turn, the Raiders remove the initial 11.25 million signing bonus, increasing his 23 base salary to 23.5 and his 23 base or cap hit at 23.8. So like we spoke about earlier, he signed this contract. He knew what kind of position he was in his health. So the best way to say it was, I forget which one of you guys said it. I think it was you, Chris. But yeah, he gambled on himself, and is. So I think there's only confidence in that. Salute to you, Mr. Matter of Fact. He wrote our original theme song, so thank you for that. I think you got another one coming, right? I think you were in the works of making us another one. Please do. We love them. We love them. Willie Wayne, salute to you. Thank you for being a supporter of the show. Thanks for being here. L's Ghost, MC Raider. I'm just here to say I got 5 handicapped friends who the Raiders can sign.
Oh man, that's my boy.
Oh my goodness. But Jimmy Garoppolo, he got wheeled up to the podium for the press conference, and I don't know, no one knew. No one knew he stubbed his toe. I mean, we all knew, but we didn't know that. We didn't know all the details of it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Because honestly, when he didn't do his press conference that first day, it was like, I mean, they knew then, and even when he did do his press conference, you could tell there was something a little off anyway. So I don't know, but Jimmy got some big kahunas, man, to bet on himself like that, man. It couldn't be me.
I actually forgot about that. I forgot he had missed his first presser.
Remember, it was like
I
weird
remember
too.
now. Yeah,
it
no,
was
I
like
remember
real
now,
weird.
but I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah.
The writing was already on the wall, but he made it look good. You know what? He made it look good. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm sure he did, Spicy. I'm sure you and all the females.
Oh my goodness. So yeah,
All the Niners.
let's see. Yeah, this is a Saturday Night skit in the works. Exactly. Jimmy G getting rolled up in a, I don't know. I don't even know what. I love it. Hey Terry,
Dude.
let's see. Oh, I guess you still are awake in the over there in 3:30 in the morning or something like that. Why on earth would Brady want to buy into the Raiders? He spent nearly 20 years with New England. Doesn't he have some attachment to them? I think that's a great point, actually. I was thinking that myself. Like, why wouldn't he want to buy into that organization? I haven't like heard anything about this, but what is your speculation, Chris, on why he chose, I guess, the Raiders? And I think, isn't he also part in two other teams? Like, was it the Jets and the Dolphins?
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay,
But
fact check me. I might be wrong. I thought he had stake in other teams.
That'd be
as well.
crazy because I mean, you would think that's a conflict of interest, like out the yin yang right there. I would be surprised they would allow that to happen, honestly. But I mean, but kind of going back to your question though, I think that maybe when Brady left, there was some kind of bad blood. You know, I know he has a good relationship with Kraft, but I think maybe him and Belichick may have kind of fell out towards the end. And you know, at the end of the day, I think Brady likes the city of Las Vegas. You know, and
Yeah.
and Mark adores him. So
Yeah,
you know,
they've been having a bromance for a while now.
yeah, he just looks at him just like whatever.
Oh, got a question for you, Chris.
Oh man, you know what? I always get that question, man. This is a Terrell Pryor.
Oh, I
I'm
remember.
from Ohio, so it's
There
a
you
Terrell
go.
Pryor. So I like TP, man. I like TP. I would never wear Jamarcus.
I
And even
actually,
if
I actually have one.
do you?
I do,
Ooh.
but I could just
Ooh.
put like Carlson on the back and we'll be good, right?
Right.
Yeah, we good. Just like I'm gonna have to put O'Connell on the back of my car jerseys. We're gonna look so ghetto in the parking lot. I'm gonna like
Yeah.
all my jerseys are just gonna have like duct tape and Sharpie on
Right.
the back. Also, the way number 24 turns over so often too, I need some duct tape and Sharpie.
Yeah.
But those are all legendary though. Those
Yup.
guys pretty much are all like legit. They
Yeah.
all deserve it. Which one you got on, Johnny?
Abram.
No.
Abram, really? I was gonna guess Woodson.
Yeah, I guess. I know.
He's not showing us, so it must be Abram.
Or
It's
Beast Mode?
Abram.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
Beast Mode's a good
That's
one.
a good one.
Is
Oh,
it
look,
really
they're
Abram?
apologizing. They're
I
apologizing
have
for offending
Yeah,
you,
I'm about to
Jamarcus.
say, you know, I always get a hard time for that. Shout out to TP, baby.
Dude,
All
I
right.
had a custom car jersey and it said car bombs on it. So, get
Car
down.
bombs? Did you say car
Yeah.
bombs?
Yeah.
Raider Vato 626 says he is part of the Vegas basketball team.
Yeah, what's that?
The Aces?
Yeah.
All right.
I think they just got hella cool because at one point he was going to be our quarterback, but Gruden blocked it. So there was like a crush going on with the owner for sure for a while. Then they got to do business with each other. Then, best case scenario, maybe he's sick of being called a cheater and say, you know what? I'm going to buy the Raiders and I'm going to make the Raiders win.
But you know what though? There's still some fans that will still be mad at him, even if he helps us get a Super Bowl. They won't get over the Tuck rule, which sucked. By the end of the day, it's not like I'm mad at the ref. I'm not
Right.
you know, Brady was just a guy that whatever. But
And that's funny. That's a perfect way to say it because at the time he was just a guy, whatever.
Right.
He literally was just a guy, whatever. No one had ever heard of him. He wasn't
No.
great at that time. He hadn't won anything.
No, he came in for injured Drew Bledsoe, and honestly, if we would have won that game, Brady would have been back on the bench, and he probably would have never been the GOAT. So
Right.
whatever.
And that we can get into conspiracy theories all night, but that call really wasn't about Brady. That call, if anything else, we could either say it was hate towards the Raiders,
Yep.
or love for the Patriots owners, organization, coach. I really don't think like Brady was kind of collateral damage in the hate that he's getting for sure. And
Right.
People say he's a cheater, right? We've said it before. That though, even though he might be a cheater, he didn't cheat on that. That was just a terrible call. And honestly, anyone. I mean, like the players don't have control over it anyway. It's not going to be like, oh, could you overturn that? But even if they did have that power, nobody in their right mind would do that.
Right.
I mean, the cheating stuff's a whole nother issue. I mean,
Hey.
those are different conversations.
Hey. Yeah. I ain't gonna say nothing, but yeah.
I think this does Brady have to admit that he knew the call was a bogus tuck rule? I think he should. Good call, Mother Moon. I think the home opener he should come out and light the torch, but before he lights the torch introduced as the new owner, he should have to admit that the tuck rule was bogus. And then he should, before he lights the torch, he should actually hand the button to Charles Woodson to light it. Yep, that's my plan.
That would be dope.
Other side.
I know. I was like, that'd be dope.
Right? Somebody send them an email.
You're onto something right there. That's like a PR dream come true. It'll literally unite the nation.
That's a little bit of a lag here. I might be having some technical issues. Right? It would never happen, but it would be pretty cool. All right. In here, you guys might have to carry on. I might have to switch over here. I have a lag on my end.
Yeah, no problem. So, Johnny, who do you so who's next up for you, man? So, are you're down just to go with O'Connell, or are you going to look into somebody? You going to bring someone else in to compete?
All these damn random names, none of them excite me. I'd rather just run with O'Connell, but I just feel like they're going to make Tom Brady play for some reason. I feel like it's a script or something. I don't know why. It's hella funny. He retired. We forgot all about it. And then now he's back in this shit. And then now you look on like ESPN and stuff. It's the headline now. Oh, will Tom Brady step in for it? They're saying it. We can say it for fun. We get freaking torched for it. But it's actually a headline now and stuff like that. So it's crazy, man. And then as far as Aiden O'Connell, just for looking like Carr and wearing number 4 lately, he got so much exposure for being a late pick and not being that flashy of a quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I like him though. I like his story, and I wouldn't be mad to have to run with him. But as terms of next year, I'm not trying to suck just for a stupid quarterback. You know what I mean? No. If we end up with a bunch of random good players, like a bunch of guys just emerge and some of them become so valuable, we can trade some of them off and give up a few second round picks and get a first round pick, get the first round from somebody, first early pick for a quarterback. That's cool. And then with McDaniels, they probably don't even like the quarterback that everyone is obsessed over. They want their own thing. They see things differently, and I respect it. So whatever they want to do. But Ziegler, genius, like they're saying, immediately cut that out. You're not getting nothing from us. We know your history. This situation proves it, I guess. But another thing with all the Raider Patriot haters is like, he's not giving him, what's it called, special treatment. Like, that's not special treatment. He's saying all these Patriot guys, but yeah, he's saying I'm not giving you a buck, you know.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I think you know, McDaniels he's an easy target for a lot of people. And I think even you, I think you're not even a big McDaniels fan, if I remember right. Me, I like McDaniels, and I think it's gonna work out. But I can't see how anyone could really be against Ziegler, man, because I mean he's made a lot of good decisions, especially for being a first time GM. But I mean, honestly, as crazy as it sounds, and I know a lot of people wish we could have got something for Carr, but the way that they drafted that contract for Carr allowed us to get it out, so we weren't stuck with a whole bunch of guaranteed money with him, because we could have got all messed up, man, with that. But we were able to, moonwalk out of that contract and save some money. So I'm shout out to Ziegler, man.
What I missed?
Yeah. In terms of just talking about.
I'm just kidding. Keep going. Never mind me. my whole system went down. But continue.
Yeah, so what's really funny?
Go ahead.
Something so funny is earlier somebody said, "I just hate losing." That offends people, really. And then you, Chris, you said, "I want a quarterback that's not scared to get hit." That's going to offend people. You can't even say anything anymore about wanting to win or believing in your front office, anything like that. And it's funny. And then McDaniels, he hasn't proved anything yet, but I mess with it. I have no bias, though. If you're losing, you're going to get memed. You're effing up, you're going to get memed. I don't care who you are. So, yeah,
that's true.
All part of the fun of it. You've seen so much stuff that's like you have no choice but to laugh through it all. So who cares?
Yeah, and then we spoke on this earlier. They better pay Josh Jacobs if they know what's good for them. Exactly, for many reasons. I think Chris said, just because it's going to help save, or Johnny, sorry, I can't remember. One of you said it's going to help save the quarterback drink. Remember, you know what to do. And also, just Josh Jacobs is just a baller. Al's Ghost says Ziegler has also made poor decisions, to name a few, giving Chandler a 3-year contract, getting nothing for Carr, trading Yannick for Rock Ya-Sin, who is no longer with the team. Exactly. Yeah, let's talk about the Carr contract a little bit, because I actually thought, because the way his contract was written up, that they were fully 100% invested in him and that they were never going to let him go.
Yeah,
until they knew who he was.
Spot on. Go ahead.
Charger opening game. Lost some trust out there.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%, man. I feel that they wanted to keep him, but I mean, they had to give themselves out, because they know, they wanted it to work. But once you got out there and saw Carr didn't have that heart that they may have thought they had, the write the contract the way they did. So, like I said, I think it's genius. A lot of people are mad that we didn't get anything in return, but like Spicy said, we thought he was going to be the one, but just in case he wasn't, let's get it out and save some money.
And they did that with all the guys. They did that with Waller. They did that with Renfro. And they gave Carr the chance that everybody wanted him to have. Can't really complain. They made some mistakes, like the Ya-Sin thing, but it's not that big of a deal. Chandler Jones got some money, but he's kind of their guy. I think he had a rush. They had a pass rush with him, but it just didn't get home. That's why you need interior pressure. And there was at one point he was heating up big time, but he broke his elbow late in the season. So you don't really know.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Carr versus Ziegler and things like that, McDaniels, because it's kind of a blame game at this point, right? Within the fan base anyway. And to me, I stand behind the Carr move. I think it needed to happen. Like you guys are saying, he had his chances.
Yep.
He was given his chances over and over and over again. And unfortunately, he was giving the same results. Now, with that said, I'm not sure that I'm fully buying into this McDaniels regime of coaching and the Ziegler decision making. So I think that's why there's also a lot of conflict and a lot of people losing their minds on one end or the other, is because there's all this uncertainty and this lack of stability, if you will. But that's just, I mean, that's nothing new for Raiders fans. I mean, if this kind of like decision making is brand new information, y'all haven't been paying attention, because this is how the organization's been ran for years.
Thank you. Yep.
So it's like now people getting offended because their favorite player left. It's like, get over it. And again, I agree with the move. I have don't wish him any bad luck over there with the Saints. I agree with the move. I'm just not confident though in what McDaniels has in store or planned. If he has a plan, I don't even know.
See, I'm one of the few that always has McDaniels back, just because I was talking about it on my show, I think last week. But like me personally, I like coaches that are, X and O driven. So, I really think that McDaniels, his problem has always been his connection with the players. And that, you going back to the Denver time when, Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler and that whole debacle. But at that point, he was the youngest coach ever. So, and he was immature and he had all power. And he admitted that he just wasn't ready from a mature standpoint. But I think coaching wise, the dude can still coach. The games that we lost, majority of the games that we lost last year was due to player execution, poor execution. Like, I think I've said it on here before, is when McDaniels calls a play, he doesn't call the play for the quarterback to throw the ball to the other team. He doesn't design a play for Hunter Renfrow to fumble the ball and then the defense scoops and scores. So it's like, you guys can get mad at Josh all you want, but these guys are not performing on the field. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I saw a random highlight of the Rams game, and I guess Chandler Jones forced a fumble, and it was already 16-3. And you got the ball, and it's almost halftime, and I'm like, damn, how the hell did we even lose that game? And there was a pick in the red zone that happened before half, but it's like you have your chances as a Raider fan after all these years to actually have a chance in your game every week is a whole different game. If you can just maintain it and actually not blow it, then good things are gonna happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Because like every week is like, you can get blown out. You can get blown out. No, okay, you got a 17-point lead, we got to protect. Okay, we got a 17-point lead, we got to protect. And get that shit right, basically. Just get it right.
No, I agree.
You're on your way.
I agree.
Els Ghost says it's tough to win with 21 different offensive line combinations. I just leave it at that. The Waller Renfro thing is, I think, a totally different topic for me anyway, and what my opinion is. But yeah, I mean, just the first part of that statement, I get that. And that, again, though, that comes to the unsustainability that the Raiders are able to provide. So yeah, it's not necessarily, all Carr's fault. However, in my opinion, we weren't seeing him do things differently that needed to be done differently. Like the stuff you mentioned earlier, guys, being able to move out of the pocket, caring about winning more than losing, like all of these having the Mamba mentality, whatever that's Al's Ghost. I agree with you, but maybe with all that, he still lacked a lot of things. Moving out of the pocket, like what was the joke you said earlier, Johnny? You saw a meme that said something like broken Jimmy G would still move better out of the pocket than a healthy Derek Carr.
I have a list. Of 5 crazy toxic takes. If you want me to go through them real quick,
tell us.
You'll love it. Okay, here's one thing someone said: Carr needs Gruden, the coach who always babied him. And then Jimmy G with a broken foot can probably move in the pocket quicker than Carr ever did.
Right.
And Carr gets injured during a playoff push, gets $1 million contract, while Jimmy G is healing from injury and gets nothing from it. Okay, got it. And then they said we're gonna get D Hop and let Adams go away and be with Rodgers. So the stuff you hear is just crazy, and a lot of people are gonna have different reactions to it. And I know some people that's enough to start World War III right there.
Yeah, really. It really, really is. Alpha and Omega forever. Tay Adams not playing with the GM and coach. Whatever QB we get has to conform to what the leaders on the team demand. And I love this comment because I would say that there's two leaders of this team, and it's usually the quarterback. In this case, it's not. In my opinion, we've got Devontae Adams on offense and we got Mad Max on defense. And those are the two captains of the team. They are the two leaders. You know, Devontae Adams came here last year, obviously, first-year player. I think he respected Derek Carr as a friend and a player. So he, for lack of a better word, stepped back, however you want to say it, Derek Carr to be the leader of the team. He kind of knew his role while he was getting acclimated. And now that Derek Carr is gone and Devontae's been on the team now for a year, he finally, I feel, he's able to step into the leadership role and voice the types of opinions that he's probably had for a long time. And, you know, people, again, I think like wilding out or bugging out should be the drinking game of the show, because people were tripping over Devontae basically saying what we all had been thinking and being a leader.
Yeah, I agree. And at the end of the day, McDaniels said it best. I mean, Devontae has earned the right to speak his mind. He's earned the right to have that opinion. Earned the right to speak his mind. He's earned the right.
Uh-oh. Did I pause?
Yes, I think he, has earned that right. So, for people to get upset that, he's saying what he's saying. I mean, just kind of looking at Alpha and Omega forever, his comment. I agree. Adams he's not playing with anyone because he wants to win, but he respects that GM. He respects the coach. And I think it's a mutual. A lot of people want to make a lot of stuff out of it that's not there. But, if you listen to what Adam says, and he doesn't come across as someone that's just going to sugarcoat something just to not hurt someone's feelings. He seems like an alpha male that's going to speak his mind. So I take him for his word.
Yeah, most definitely. And I just want to go back to L's comments here, just so he is heard correctly. He said, to be clear, I'm okay with Carr leaving. Both sides needed a fresh start. My point is this: the team's problems are deeper than Carr. I think we can agree. With both of those statements. And I think we understood that's what you were saying. So sorry if that did not come across that way. But yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we all just want to win. So whoever you put out there, that's all I say is just figure it out. You just got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. I'm glad it's not my job to figure it out, to be honest. I mean, we can sit here all day and talk and give our opinions, but I'm really glad that it's not my job to figure out, because I honestly don't think it's an easy fix. This is not an easy fix. This is not about a quarterback. There's a lot of issues with this team. Mm-hmm. I think in the front office, with the coaching, and it's not stuff that can't be rectified, but to Al's Ghost kind of comment earlier, with so much overturn, it's hard to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like people like me, when I speak kind of ill about Carr, they think that I'm a Carr hater, which I'm not. I'm just I'm all about protecting the shield. There's nothing more important than the shield to me. So, at the end of the day, if Carr was balling, I'd be the first cheering for him, but you can't win. And it's not all Carr's fault. So I will always be the first to say that it's not all his fault, but as a leader of the team, he has to be held accountable, because it's not like he just had a bad year this past year. I
Right.
mean, he led the league in interceptions before he got benched this year. Last year, or the year previous, he was tied for second in all of turnovers. So it's like you can't blame McDaniels for what you did the year before. So like, what's the excuse now? He was, so it's always something. At some point, you just got to hold someone accountable and just move on.
Yeah. And then that's the thing, right? I mean, this is not Omar, he's been on here last year. He was saying, they got rid of Carr. It's a rebuild year. And I was like, no, man, it's not a rebuild year just because you get rid of the quarterback. But now I'm kind of thinking it is. It's more than a rebuild year. I mean, this is going to take some time to get better. Here's the thing. The Raiders' biggest challenge that most of the other teams don't have, I think with obviously the exception of the Broncos and the Chargers, is they have to figure out how to be better than the Chiefs just to be successful, to get out of their conference to make a playoff run. I mean, that's a huge hill to climb. I think Derek Carr is going to be successful with the Saints because, quite honestly, an 8-8 record, or I guess you can't go 8-8 anymore, 9-8 record can get you in the playoffs, get them in the playoffs. That's not happening in the AFC West. You go 9-8, pack your bags and worry about next season.
That's a hell of a point.
And I think it's going to be interesting when, because the likelihood is high that Derek Carr is going to be successful on that team and make the playoffs. So it was a good move for him. He should be thanking the Raiders, to be honest, because he'll have more success there. And then I think from a fan standpoint, the people who are these Carr lovers can't wait to say, I told you so. But it's like, you can't tell me so, because it's like you're playing in a whole different conference, a whole different league, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not equivalent. It's not an equivalent victory. I mean, look at Tom Brady. His team made the playoffs with a losing record.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got
arguably happened in the AFC.
Right. And you've got my whole system's a mess. You've got arguably the best quarterback in the league that we have to figure out how to beat. And not once, but twice. And that's not even just arguably. A regular season.
Yeah, it's not even arguably. He's the best, and he's gonna keep getting better. And if they mess around and get D-Hop, it's gonna be even more headaches for us. So we just got to figure it out.
Yeah, and just to talk a little bit too about these flex schedules and being in the playoff run. So week 15 is against the Chargers at home, and it's going to be a flex. We know that Amazon, look, Jeff Bezos don't mess around. He don't give a what about you fans coming from wherever you coming from. He's a bajillionaire and he want to make his money, and he wants the best game on his channel.
Yeah.
And no one's going to change that. This guy freaking runs everything. So in week 15, if both of these teams aren't playoff contenders, or at least in the hunt, which is going to be very challenging at that point, shoot. Just know now, fans, it's not happening. Here, there's your update. You can thank me later when you don't even plan to go on Thursday.
Yeah.
Just plan to stay through Sunday. Or no, you can go Thursday. Just plan to stay through Sunday or Monday.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And I mean, we have a lot of opportunity to get some primetime games, but we have to figure it out at the end of the day. We got a tough schedule. But I think if we can, if Jimmy can stay healthy and we can be really efficient, score in the red zone, not turn the ball over, we at least got a fighting chance. So,
yeah, for sure. King Savage, what's good? He says, I'm going to the Raiders versus Dolphins game. We will be out there. We shot a link up. Chris, are you going out there?
Yeah, section 115.
Oh, shoot, he already got his ticket.
I did.
John, are you going to be out there?
Miami?
Yeah.
Dolphins, right? Yeah, that's Dolphins, the one I want for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Salute, Jack Kenna. Remember, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Light that torch, hit that like button. Follow Nation's Most Hated on Instagram, and subscribe to Protect the Shield on YouTube. We're coming up on our time here. Any final thoughts, guys?
For me, I just say, just Raider Nation, just let things play out. You guys are getting high blood pressure over stuff you can't even control, man. Just enjoy your drink, enjoy a nice glass of whatever you do, or smoke whatever you smoke, and just
Or
relax.
twerk however you twerk.
Twerk however you twerk. But at the end of the day, it's just we can't control it. So as much as we want to, we can't control it. So let the millionaires make those decisions, and just hold them accountable. If you guys are unhappy, don't go to the games. Don't put money in their pockets. But there's not much else we can do.
Yeah, I mean, I do my own version of a mild protest. I still go to the games, but I have season tickets, and quite honestly, it's a good investment when I don't go. But my protest is, I don't buy anything for Raider image.
Yeah.
Because that's a bit. No, okay. I kind of lied a little bit. I didn't lie. I forgot. I did buy some stuff from the tent sale, but it was like 70% off.
Oh, that don't count. That's clear.
Okay.
You're good.
But that's my protest. I get my goods from elsewhere. But they got plenty of money. So what's that?
All you need is memes to protest. I just meme them to hell if they. All of them.
That doesn't hurt their pocketbook though.
Johnny is like the GOAT. Johnny's the GOAT of memes, man.
Right?
I truly get entertained by his memes. Like every day I wake up, I'm like, dude, you're the GOAT. He's like, you just got to jump on it when it happens.
Got a hype video for
follow him on Instagram.
Davis coming out. Gotcha.
What's that?
Honestly, just have fun. You have no choice but to have fun. We're even if we suck, we always have entertainment. We're always making headlines. They're always talking about us. It's all good. Just enjoy it. It's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. It's the Raiders. That's right. We're going to plug this all along, every show we do. But remember to join us September 10th for the season opener at Ricky's in San Leandro. It is reopened, and we are going to have, I'll just say it, we're going to have one hell of a party. I'm actually meeting with Ricky's this Sunday to kind of finalize some plans, but it's going to be the Oakland Raiders tailgate vibe out in the parking lot. We are going to have some very infamous fans joining us, some Raiders legends, and we are going to be announcing Monday some people and products and brands that we have branded with, sponsored with. So look out for that. If you're in the Oakland area, make sure to join us. And if you're not in the Oakland area, Southwest is holding a sale for the next 3 days. So you better get your booties out here because they're going to be turned.
Shout out to Ricky's, man. Some epic times there. Now, are you guys just having the big party for the opener, or is it going to be something that they're going to do for all the away games?
Yeah, so we are going to be hosting a party at Ricky's for all of the away. Well, the plan is, as of right now, to host them for all of the away games. We won't be hosting the Miami game because we'll be at the game.
Good.
And then we also have a special announcement where we'll be doing pre-parties, if you will, and podcasts out in Vegas for home games. So those details will be finalized soon, but it's going to be like the Friday night before the actual game or something like that. So look out for that as well. And Jack Kenny, you didn't miss anything because you can just go right back and watch it. we here, it's still there. He says Raiders did it wrong again. Should have signed TB12 before making him the owner.
It's not official yet.
Right? Calm down.
Doors open.
I'm kidding. That was the theme of the show. Everyone's blood pressure up. I'm just kidding. I'm not saying that yours is. It was just funny. Don't come at me. But yes. Ricky's is back. Everyone should be excited. What parking lot you going to be at in the Miami game? For me, I haven't made plans like that so far. Last time we went, we were on the west side. I get so confused there because the ocean's on the wrong side. I'm so used to being in California and seeing it on this side. So like the north and south there has got me all messed up. But we'll keep in touch. Where are you planning on partying? Because we definitely all got to get together.
Oh yeah, take over South Beach, baby.
You know it. Jack Hanna is right. Ricky's is the old school. Thought it was shut down years ago. It was shut down years ago. They had their soft opening a couple months ago. They are open now, and we are going to be bringing Raiders parties back there. So we're glad to get the word out too. We've got a lot of interest, and I have a video on my YouTube channel. Just go and check it out. It says Ricky's soft opening or something like that if you want a sneak peek of what it looks like inside now, because they did do a full remodel. All right, guys. Well, this has been so much fun. We can go on forever, but I know we're up on our time. I want to thank you both for joining. Light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe, follow at Nation's Most Hated, because certified the best memes around, and subscribe to, I can never say this, Protect the Shield. It's like a lisp or something. I don't even have a list. Protect the Shield podcast. He's got some great interviews. Make sure to check out the one with former head coach Hugh Jackson. All right. You know, we go out one way and only one way.
Raiders!
Thanks for watching, everyone.